Jeez, it's like about to pour. Peachtober continued. Why does it feel like the days that I have so many ideas I can't draw, and the days where I'm drawing my best I have no good ideas? And I don't know, maybe some days are meant for coming up with drawing ideas and other days are for drawing them. Should we feed into bad art days or push through them and try and create good art? Should we just allow them to be bad art days and just create bad art but still create? Honestly, I have no idea. But you can listen to me try and talk it out here while showing you some clips from Peachtober days 3, 4, and 5. For this video, I think it'll make a little bit more sense about like the things I talk about if you watch my last video, which features Peachtober's day 1 and 2. And yeah, so go check those out, and if you've already seen them, let's get started. Day 3. Day 3's prompt was bridge, and similar to day 1 and 2, I had an idea I was pretty excited to create. I wanted to create this scene with two people who were like had this job to hold up a bridge. I don't know if this makes any sense, but like they're maybe like in love or something, they want to be together, but they have this job to hold up this bridge so they can't. I don't know, I had this like little story in my head that they were like stuck on opposite sides doing this job. I was pretty excited about this idea. I wasn't sure exactly how to draw it, but I sort of had a vision in my head. But following day 1 and 2's frustrations with not being able to realize the ideas in my head, I knew I needed a new game plan, because otherwise I would probably lose my motivation for Peachtober. I've talked about this in other videos, but I have a tendency to put all the ideas I'm most excited about on a list to hopefully revisit when I'm confident enough in my skills to create the piece I had envisioned. This doesn't really work, since by the time my skill is where I would have needed it to be, my taste is different, or I'm too far past the idea for me to want to create it, or I have a million more ideas I'm more invested and excited to create. Peachtober seemed like the perfect way to actually create some of the ideas I've been excited to create without the ability or option to put them on hold. But as it turns out, putting them on hold may actually be the right way to go. On day 3, I realized if I was going to enjoy creating art, I needed to draw out my idea without the pressure. Just get that idea out. Even though I had envisioned a final beautiful piece for this idea, the best way to tackle it, especially following days where my confidence kind of decreased, was just to get the idea out and see if I was close to the mark. This is when I realized for future Inktober or prompt-based list drawing everyday challenges where I'm trying to draw a more complicated piece every day, so like not a piece from reference, I would need to sketch out the idea beforehand. Like I almost always sketch out a little tiny sketch on a piece of paper so I remember the idea, but one of these sketches really only tells you the placement of things. It doesn't account for medium, style, and all the other factors in between. For day 3, I decided to sketch out my idea with only the purpose of having a low-pressure sketching session in mind. That's hard to say, low-pressure sketching session in mind. I'll be honest, the image in my head didn't really come across in the final piece. However, the only thing that really means is that when I decide to redraw this and make a final piece out of it, I will know what not to do. I actually kind of like this piece. I like the colors I used. I like the way it comes off visually, but the issue is I'm comparing it to an idea I had in my head, which is not really fair, since it's something different. So eventually, you'll likely see me recreate this one, as well as some of the other ideas from Peachtober, but for now, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Day 4. The prompt was fish, and for fish, I had this weird idea in my mind. I wanted to try and morph together a human with one of those scary light bulb fish, which originally I wanted to do because I have this idea of this like light illuminating this person's face in the dark, like you create your own light. I have no idea, metaphors, whatever. I just thought it would look cool because I have this light on my roof that's shaped like one of those light bulb fish, like I'll show you. And it reminded me of that fish, and I just was like, that'd be cool to put on a human's face. So that's why we're doing it. I really like this idea of making it sort of creepier, maybe like a black ink drawing. And then I realized I have never drawn anything creepy before. And since I'm already less comfortable with ink than I am with markers, and I'm less comfortable in black and white than I am with color, I felt like it was kind of smarter, instead of trying 2 new things at once, to just try one. So maybe I'd have a better chance of actually enjoying making and enjoying the final piece. So I just decided to stick with the creepier part of it. To make it a little bit scarier, I decided to combine the prompt fish with a prompt from Zeke's Lunchbox prompt list, Peachtober, which day 4 was snarl. I don't know if I decide to draw this again, if I would keep the mouth open in that snarling sort of creepy position, but I don't know, it was fun to test out. I also did pick out my colors to match the landscape on the other side of the spread, which I do this a lot. I like to be inspired so that the piece looks kind of cohesive, but I don't really think this is probably the furthest thing from cohesive in the end, since the face is pretty off-putting, but anywho, the thought was there. I realized on day 4, I almost always like my art better when I go into it with no pressure. This doesn't just mean I'm not posting a video. This may just mean I'm drawing without any reference. I'm drawing without any ideas. I'm just letting my work go where it wants. Almost all of my more recent work, the kind of work you see on my Instagram, is like this because not only do I have more fun drawing when I just don't even go into it with an idea, I tend to like the end result better. This is a cool thing because it means that on a day like today, where I'm just drawing for fun, I'm not putting too much pressure on the drawing, I really still like it. Also, just because I had so much fun making the piece that I can't even look at it badly. That being said, while it's cool, only liking the kind of work I make that's low pressure, it kind of is also an issue because it means I can't really create the big pieces I have in my mind with the ideas I have in my head that I'm really excited about. This is probably why I didn't like my art on day 1 or 2. I had these ideas I loved so much and I want to create them exactly how I imagined them, and I put pressure on myself to reach this vision, which I just couldn't do because I'm not used to working with pressure and creating stuff I like, which is something I'm definitely going to have to work on in the future. Drawing ideas from my head is a lot easier when the ideas are within my realm of comfort. And this is not something that only I do, but if you look at most artists online, you'll see they tend to draw a lot of the same things over and over because it's easiest to create good pieces every time when you're drawing within your realm of comfort. For me, drawing my own face is within my realm of comfort. So, I may distort it a little bit. Even if it looks complicated, the process is easy because I'm so used to drawing it. This is kind of the best part, but also the biggest issue I have with Peachtober or Inktober is that almost everything on the list is out of my comfort zone, which is a great thing for practice, but it's not a great thing if you have finished pieces in mind, because why would I be able to create good-looking, finished pieces with things I've never drawn before, especially if I plan on combining them together to reach some vision I have in my head? There's pressure, there's the fact that I'm drawing things out of my comfort zone, and still I've been expecting to create final pieces I like, it's asking a lot. I suppose there's 2 answers to this problem. Either 1, I practice drawing everything, so that when I have an idea in my head, I will have the skills to create it no matter what it is, and I can draw it that day so the idea is super fresh. Or 2, I sketch it over and over and over until I figure out how to draw it exactly the way I'm thinking about it in my head. But the issue I have with this one is that I've drawn that idea so much, I don't know if I'm going to still be as excited to actually finish the final piece, I think maybe I've kind of found an in-between to the 2, which is draw sketches of things I have in my head in a very low-key way until I become more comfortable with the idea and the subjects, and then create low-pressure, more finalized sketches to get the idea out, like what I'm doing today. This is a pretty final-looking sketch. It's not the final piece, but it's a pretty final-looking sketch, and I can kind of see what I would change. But this way, when I'm actually ready to draw the piece, hopefully the idea, because it's out, will be closer to the final piece I have in my head. Does that make sense? Like every time you draw it, you see what's wrong and you can tweak little things. And by the time you get to your last one, it'll be hopefully the closest one to the idea you had. I don't know if this makes any sense, but this is rambles now. So let's move on to day 5. Day 5. Day 5's prompt was sword, and today I didn't really have as many ideas for the prompt. And I knew I could come up with something, but honestly, I kind of felt like taking it easy. So I decided to use sword as kind of a way to just character design, which was a lot of fun. I've never designed a character before, but in one of my previous videos, like at the beginning of my channel, I drew a face from reference and I mentioned it would be cool to create a character from her face. So that's what I'm trying. And I actually plan on using this character in an upcoming Inktober prompt so I can make use of this drawing session, so expect that. Today, and honestly this whole week, has kind of felt like bad art days. And honestly, if I wasn't doing Peachtober, I would have already given up with drawing. Even if I had ideas, I was beyond excited to draw. This experience kind of reminded me how much better it feels to draw out your ideas when you have them. I don't want to draw ideas from months ago. If I have ideas I'm more excited about today, and my brain doesn't stop creating ideas I love. Actually, it kind of does stop creating ideas I love, specifically on the days where I'm creating my best art visually. It's like they never seem to line up. On my bad art days, I have a million ideas I can't create, and on my good art days, I don't really have an idea that's inspiring me. Jeez, it's starting to rain. I have an umbrella here. I honestly would really like to improve on this because I assume I will create my best art on the days where inspiration and skill coincide. And I feel like it's been such a long time since this has happened. I think I kind of already learned it's worth pushing through your bad art days, but this doesn't mean you need to create the ultimate perfect piece of art when you feel like you're having a bad art day. Just getting your ideas out and putting some paint on the paper is worth it. You know, I really used to do this a lot, where I would just take watercolor, no sketch, and just lay down some paint with the ideas in my head in my sketchbook. And it really helped to keep my art muscle moving, and I haven't been doing this in a long time, so I probably should get back to that. I don't know, oh my gosh, it's so windy. I don't know when I'm gonna create the next piece of art I love, or when my good art days will coincide with inspiration, but it's not gonna happen if I don't create and push through days where it doesn't work out. So day 5, I decided to give myself a break. No huge paintings, commitments to ideas I love. I just wanted to practice. I don't think the page is good looking, nor am I proud even to be showing it here on YouTube, but that's not what the purpose is. I don't think every page you create should be a page you're proud to show. Because if it is, then you're not really experimenting, right? Because you're just doing things you know you're comfortable in that will be good to show off, if that makes sense. If you watch my old sketchbook tours, you'll know that I've done this. I've created sketchbooks where every single piece was a final piece, and this wasn't even conscious. I just had ideas, I'd sit down and do them as soon as I thought them up, and made sure that they were done well because I only drew on the days where I felt like I had the skills to create those ideas. So I don't want to do that. With this sketchbook, I've really tried to just allow myself to experiment and draw, but this means that even though I'm no longer insecure about my sketchbook pages being bad, I've transferred the insecurity now to being insecure about whether or not I'll create my final piece well. So now I only sketch and I don't create final pieces that I like. I just get ideas out. And I have tons of ideas that I'd like to turn into nice, presentable pieces of art, but I don't know. Like I said in the beginning, this isn't really a video with an answer, but more a question, the lessons I've learned, and the ones I want to learn, with a mission for myself to get to a place where I'm happy with my art and have better answers to those questions. Let me know if you have any solutions for days where you're super inspired to create a piece, but your skills just aren't cooperating with you, and your opinion on working through bad art days. Anywho, thank you for watching. It's really starting to rain out here. I need to go bring all my stuff in. Jeez, it's like about to pour. Anywho, thank you for watching. If you're curious to see what I end up doing with my day 5 sketch, you can check it out on this channel, so subscribe. And if not, go to my Instagram because that's where I post things before they come out. If I like the final piece, I usually post stuff there. Yeah, okay, self-promo's done. Here's a mountain update. It's really foggy, but it's really beautiful. I'm very happy with being outside. I need to go in. See you on day 6. Bye-bye.